The gang starts off their latest game with Tom, who plays a command tower. Then Extra plays a tapped Arcane Sanctum. Sam plays an obscure storefront, sacrificing it to find an island and gain 1, while John ends the first turn cycle with a Plains. The real game now begins, with Tom playing an island and casting his commander, Nashi, Searcher in the Dark. He passes to Extra. Extra plays a Flood Farm Verge, then casts an Inquisitive Glimmer before passing. Sam plays a command tower for turn and casts a Walking Atlas. With nothing else, he passes to John. John plays a mountain and casts Arabella, Abandoned Doll, then hands it back to Tom. Tom plays an island, then casts a Hand of Vecna, which he immediately equips onto Nashi, paying 6 life. He goes to combat, triggering the hand to give Nashi +6/+6 before sending him at Extra. Nashi then triggers, milling 8 and adding 4 to hand, before passing the turn. Extra plays a Deserted Beach, followed by a Grasp of Fate, taking care of Nashi, Arabella, and Atlas. Once removed, he attacks Tom with his Glimmer and gives the turn to Sam. Sam plays a Forest, casts an Arcane Signet, then taps 1 for Aquarian Ranger. He then passes back to John. John simply casts a Loyal Warhound, fetching him a tapped Plains, before sadly passing back to Tom, missing his land drop. Tom plays an Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, that recasts his commander, Nashi, Searcher in the Dark, and passes. Extra plays a Plains, then casts his own commander, the Master of Keys, for X=2, triggering his effect to gain 2 counters and mill 4. Once that's done, he passes. Sam starts the turn by casting his commander, Zimone, Mystery Unraveler, followed by a Terramorphic Expanse, triggering Zimone to manifest Dread. After that, he gives the turn to John. As John is still unable to find the land, he casts Patriarch's Seal and attacks Tom with his Warhound, before giving the turn back to Tom. Tom plays a Tainted Isle, then casts a Yawgmoth's Vile Offering on Zimone and Demon of Fate's Design. In response, Sam sacrifices his Expanse to get a Forest, triggering Zimone to manifest before the offering resolves. After that, Tom once again equips Nashi with the hand, paying 7 life, triggering its effect at the start of combat, give +7/+7, followed by an attack at John. Not wanting to take the hit, John casts an Unwanted Remake on Nashi, replacing it with a Manifest. With his commander lost once more, he gives the turn to Extra. Extra plays a Plains, and casts a Mirror Maid, copying Tom's Demon, followed by using its effect to pay 3 life in order to cast Seal from Existence, exiling the demon belonging to Tom. With that out of the way, he sends both his creatures at Tom and passes. Sam first flips over his Lotus Cobra, then plays a Yavimaya Coast, triggering Cobra to make a green, which is used to cast a face-down morph. Once in play, he gives the turn to John. John finally casts his commander, the Jolly Balloon Man. With this, he is now able to copy Warhound to fetch up a Plains, since, you guessed it, he didn't draw a land. He then attacks Extra with the balloon copy and passes back to Tom. Tom plays a Swamp, then casts a Bottomless Pool, returning the Mirror Maid Demon back to Extra's hand. After that, he casts Overlord of the Baelmerk, milling 4 and adding a creature, followed by an attack with his Manifested Extra, and a pass. Extra first impendings his own Overlord of Baelmerk, also milling 4 and adding a creature. Next he casts a Mirror Maid, this time copying Grasp of Fate, using its effect to exile Cobra, Balloon Man, and Overlord. He plays a Plains, then ends the turn with a Master attack at Sam and a Glimmer attack at Tom. Still in his end step, Sam megamorphs his Antioch Survivalist, using its effect to destroy Grasp of Fate and return the sealed creatures into play. On his turn, Sam first casts his commander, Zimone, Mystery Unraveler, then plays a Blighted Woodland, triggering Zimone. Wanting to keep him in check, Extra responds with a generous gift on Zimone, which in turn has Sam activate his Atlas, while holding priority to activate his Ranger to return a forest and untap Atlas. As a result, Atlas puts said forest into play, triggering Zimone to manifest. The stack then fully resolves, with Zimone's original trigger flipping over the manifest. Once everything is sorted, he casts Farseek, finding a hedge maze, surveilling to the top, and passing the turn to John. John plays a mountain, then once again casts his commander, the Jolly Balloon Man, again using him to make a copy of Warhound to go get another Plains. He then goes to combat, sending all his creatures at extra, triggering the Freed and Arabella to drain each opponent for 3. After the damage is dealt, he passes back to Tom. Tom decides to play out the trio of Rona, Herald of Invasion, Agent of the Shadow Thieves, and the Key to the Vault, before passing the turn. Extra takes down Overlord on his upkeep, then starts by escaping Underwater Tunnel, surveilling 2 to the graveyard. Next he escapes a Grasp of Fate, exiling Hand of Vecna, Balloon Man, and Green Warden. With the creatures nicely tucked away, he finishes off the turn with a Starfield Mystic and a Master Attack at Sam. Sam once again starts by casting his commander, Zimone, Mystery Unraveler. Next he plays an Oboro, Palace in the Clouds, triggering Zimone. Not wanting to see any more Zimone, Extra once again steps in with a Path to Exile on Zimone. In response to this, Sam activates Oboro to return it to hand, followed by an Atlas activation, putting it into play, triggering Zimone to manifest. Once Zimone resolves, he activates his Ranger, returning a forest, untapping Atlas, and using its effect to play the forest. This once again triggers Zimone to flip a manifest, followed by another Ranger activation, this time returning and playing Hedge Maze to surveil to the graveyard, and Zimone to flip. The rest of the stack then resolves, followed by an attack with both Survivalist and Elephant at extra, of which Survivalist gets blocked by Mystic. He then passes the turn. John plays a Plains, then surprise surprise, casts his commander, the Jolly Balloon Man, using him to copy Warhound, getting a Plains, then sends the balloon at Sam and Arabella at extra, triggering Arabella to drain 3. Sam then takes the hit, and Extra blocks Arabella with his Glimmer. Once that's sorted, he passes. Tom first activates Rona to draw and discard. He recasts his commander, Nashi, Searcher in the Dark, triggering Rona to untap. He then passes to Extra. Extra takes down Overlord on his upkeep, then unlocks Slimy Aquarium, manifesting a creature with a counter. He then attacks John with Master, before passing the turn. Sam starts again with his commander, Zimone, Mystery Unraveler. He then plays a Terramorphic Expanse from his graveyard, triggering Zimone to manifest, followed by an Atlas plus Ranger activation to replay a forest, again triggering Zimone to flip a manifest. With that done, he attacks John with his Elephant, and passes. John plays a Plains, then casts a Trumpeting Carnosaur, triggering its effect to cast Helpful Hunter, which draws a card when it enters. Next he activates Balloon Man to copy Carnosaur, this time casting Panharmonicon. After that, he uses Seal to once again activate Balloon Man on Carnosaur, this time triggering 2 times, casting Professional Phasebreaker and Wall of Omens, which draws 2 cards. He then goes to combat, attacking both Extra and Sam with a balloon copy each, while Arabella goes at Tom. This also triggers Arabella to drain for 7, killing off Tom in the process. Still before blocks, Sam sacrifices his Expanse to get a forest, triggering Zimone to manifest. After that, he once again uses the Atlas Ranger combo to replay a forest, triggering Zimone to flip the manifest. Once that's done, he does it again, this time using the second Ranger and replaying a Hedge Maze, triggering it to surveil to the graveyard and a flip Scoot to double in numbers. Still having no good way to block, both players take the hit, triggering Facebreaker to make 2 triggers, before finally passing the turn back to Extra. Extra ticks down Overlord on his upkeep, then casts Ghostly Dancers, plays a tapped Water Grave, and ends the turn with an attack at John with his commander. Not letting him pass just yet, Sam steps in, repeating the Ranger shenanigans twice more, triggering Maze, Scoot, and eventually manifesting and flipping a Temur War Shaman, which fights John's Arabella. Sam plays a Terramorphic Expanse from his graveyard, triggering Zimone to manifest and Scoot to double. Next is another set of Ranger shenanigans, triggering Maze, Zimone, and Scoot. He then escapes Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, triggering its effect to gain 3, draw, and play a Simic Growth Chamber, triggering itself, and Scoot. Having done all that, he sends 8 Scoots and Extra, taking him out, freeing his Cobra and Green Warden. In his second main, he casts Oracle of Moldiah, and gives the turn over to John. On John's upkeep, Sam sacrifices his Expanse to get a forest, triggering Zimone. With the trigger on the stack, he does the usual Ranger things with Maze, this time having everything triggered 2 times due to Green Warden. Once all the triggers finally resolve, Zimone manifests and flips over Retreat to Coral Helm. With this, alongside Herbalist, Oboro, and Green Warden, he is able to tap down all of John's creatures at any time, while still having room to scry his whole deck. With that overwhelming realization, John is left with nothing else but to concede, is what I would normally say. But John has a plan. He first casts War Leader's Call, then follows it up with a Zealous Conscript, triggering Call to deal 2, and more importantly, Conscripts to untap both his Plains and Balloon Man, thanks to Panharmonicon, allowing him to get around Sam's loot. With this, he is able to make his own infinite army of Conscripts, which thanks to Call, is able to take down Sam and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.